VB Knives. He's one of those guys that kind of has like knowledge in every endeavor. And so this is a video. This guy's having a party on top of a rooftop, and the girls across the way at this hotel send them their number. Then they get the girls and they bring them over to the rooftop party. But VP points out all of these guys are like, oh, I need to buy a house. I need to move to the suburbs. No, my serious advice for the single young normie has always been get an apartment in the hippest downtown area you can afford. You want to be within walking distance to bars, venues, perhaps the beach. Do not even worry about buying a suburban house. And I cannot convey the importance of this because it comes down to environment and logistics. You want to be in an environment, and I hope you understand this, where you don't have to be that good to be successful. It's like if you're selling something, you want to be around people with money as opposed to poor people. Because no matter how good of a salesman you are, if everybody's poor, you'll never sell anything. So you want to make yourself or put yourself into an environment in the hippest downtown area is going to be the most target rich environment. And then one thing that players know that the average guy doesn't is having solid, easy logistics makes your life easier and you close more deals and everyone benefits. Solid advice. A target rich area with good logistics will accelerate your game and quality of life overnight. You want to put yourself in an environment where you don't have to be that successful you don't have to be that good to be successful. Again, right area, lots of targets, lots of places to go, and logistics. You're within walking distance of your apartment where you can have some privacy and you can close deals. Again, it accelerates your success. Every guy I know that went from living in a downtown area that was thriving and moving and exciting, and he moved to the suburbs because he thought he should buy a house. And he doesn't, single guy, no girlfriend, nothing, not building a home or a family, regrets it. Because now he's a 30-minute commute from the excitement. He's in the suburbs with a bunch of moms and older men and unhappy people. Again, why do people that are single buy a house? Well, they generally don't. But what you see a lot of is you see a lot of girls that are single with no prospects buying a house because remember the girl blueprint is boyfriend, engagement, wedding, house, babies. Girls that start moving like past 25, 30, 35, they buy a house so when they get married, they can speed up the babies part. They want to, they don't have any prospects. They don't have an exciting guy that's most likely going to marry them in their life. And now they're like 32 and they have no kids and they've never been married. They say to themselves, how can I speed this process up? Well, I don't have any prospects and I don't like the guys I'm going out with. They keep pumping and dumping me. So I'll buy a house. And consciously or unconsciously, the idea is to speed up the process. So when they do find a boyfriend that engages, that gets married, they can go straight to having kids because their window is closing. That's why you see a lot of these single girls, and they're projecting also like online when they go, I own my own house. They want you to have a house, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to because it doesn't matter. They know that there's going to be a time between the wedding and the kids because most people want to spend at least a couple years together before the kids start showing up. Again, but girls want to accelerate that process, especially if they're getting into their 30s and they have not had children yet. They want that thing to pick up so they can go. And it's interesting, and I hate to say this off the cuff, but most girls that I do know that did buy their house before they were ever married or had children ended up like getting pregnant from some guy that either both doesn't have any interest in buying a house and no ability to buy a house. For whatever reason, it just kind of like the guys just weren't financially or mentally or professionally successful. So, and that's who they ended up getting pregnant by. So they got the house. They don't have a guy that can actually pay anything, and they have children. So that's what I've seen over time. Again, that's not the primary thing. Is where should you be? You should be in a lively, forward-moving, exciting, target-rich area with good logistics that will accelerate your game quality of life overnight. You want to be where the bars, the entertainment district, clubs happening. And there's usually like, we have like 1 million people here in Fort Worth, and there's probably 3 neighborhoods that are like that. And they don't all, you have to kind of like find one that matches your personality. And they will change. I've been in this one nearly a decade, and they will change over time. And that's pretty normal. They don't last forever, but they do change over time. So if you want to accelerate your game, getting in the right environment makes all the difference sometimes. Like guys go from 0 to hero overnight because they have a better environment. They go from like the bar to the elevator to their apartment, and they just close more girls faster because there's no time. He's like, hey, you want to come up and see my monkey? Or you want to see my art collection? She's like, sure. And then you're in the apartment like less than 5 minutes later. And that's where the magic happens. So that's why, and VB Knives puts out some solid information across the board. It's really kind of, and this is a guy that like lives like in rural New Mexico, which you can only imagine how far out that is. But he knows if you're a single guy, you want to bang a lot of chicks, you need to get yourself into a city and get into a hip neighborhood. Stay out of the suburbs. It's not your place right now, but it will be. Give it time. So next slide.